Hello friends, I am Dr. Ganesh Kushwah and today I will discuss with you about life and its purpose. What is the purpose of life and what is life? The purpose of life depends on our understanding of life itself. So first we should focus on what is life. Life is basically the growth, reproduction and defense mechanism of our identity. Life is a process of survival. In animals, it is basically sense perception and reaction. But in the higher forms of life, like humans, the self-identity is dominant here. So the growth, reproduction and defense mechanism of the self-identity is basically our life, the so-called life. It is basically our so-called consciousness. It is basically our so-called the world. Our world is made of out of this mechanism. So when we talk about the purpose of life, the purpose of life depends on what we think of ourselves, to what entity we identify ourselves. If we think we are this persona, we are this human being. Suppose I am Ganesh Kushwah. So this persona, if I am, its growth, reproduction, defense mechanism becomes my life. If I am an idea, any position, any designation, any profession, so my life becomes its growth, reproduction and defense mechanism. So it is up to what we think of ourselves, to what we identify ourselves. And that is how self-inquiry is important, because our self-identification is given by the society and culture to us. Caste, profession, position, social status, all kind of identities are given by the society. And to know in real sense who am I think it is the most important and fundamental questions which can give us some clarity about the purpose of life. So when we ask ourselves, who am I? And it is the most fundamental questions and no other one can give us answers, only the answer which comes out of ourselves. When we ask ourselves these questions, when the answers comes automatically, and these answers are the real answers. All the answers written in books and the scriptures, all the so-called gurus, knowledge seekers, they all are beliefs. They all are like superstitions, dogmas, and that create more complications in our life. So when we ask ourselves this question, who am I? And the answers comes. These answers can really give us some clarity about life. These answers can really give some visions about the understanding of life. And so how the purpose of life. So as per my understanding, as soon I am started to ask myself this question, and the answer came, what is life? Life is a growth, reproduction, defense mechanism to whatever we identify. This understanding can help to other seekers, other honest seekers, but Finally, one has to ask himself or herself this question. Honestly, if one has this honest query to know what is life, who am I, and what is the purpose of it, these three questions are fundamental questions and interconnected, interrelated. So we come down again. Who am I? So I am this persona, I am this person, I am this body. Primarily, it is true, because if I don't think myself a body, how I can survive this body? How I can work for the survival? So survival is the fundamental need of our life, each and every living entity. But survival is not the goal of life, because when we think we are this body and our 100% energy is indulged with the growth, reproduction and defense mechanism of the body. But this body is made of 5 basic elements called Panchabhuta. It is, and those 5 elements are also made of fundamental elements like electrons, like atoms, electrons. So when we ask this question to ourselves in deeper sense, the answers comes, and this persona, this body is like a wave in the ocean. The way a wave appears in the ocean and remains for some time and dissolves into the ocean, the same way this body, this persona is a unit, is a primary unit, and that came into existence for some period, for some 80 years, 90 years, or maybe 100 years, and it will devolve back into the 5 elements: fire, water, earth, sky. So actually we are not this body, not this person. It is temporary. Everybody, we are basically made of these 5 elements: fire, water, earth, sky, and fire, water, earth, sky, and fire, water, earth, sky, Jal, Vayu, Agni, Akash, and earth. So fire, water, air, earth, or sky, these 4 elements are the fundamental sustainable units which can be easily observed into our life. So this body is made of these fundamental 5 elements, and it will dissolve into it. And these fundamental elements are made of atoms and different elements like nitrogen, carbon, electron. So electron, proton are further divisions of the atoms, but the atoms are the basic element in a chemistry: carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen. And atoms are made of further by 3 particles: electron, proton, neutrons. And these particles also made of quarks. So everything made of quarks, and scientific research is going on. And the last building particle of this whole existence is the element. It we can call the Atma, the core essence. Like all waves of the ocean are made of water, and if a wave of ocean think that I am indivisible and these others are tiny waves, I am special, it is called ignorance, because a wave is basically water, and water is basically ocean, and every wave has right to say that I am the whole of ocean. That's why it is said that Aham Param Brahmasmi, I am the whole existence. Tattvamasi, you are that. Because in the ocean, every wave is made of water, and every wave is basically the whole ocean. But due to the ignorance, a wave can think itself that it is a tiny wave, an individual wave that is changing its individuality every moment, and finally dissolving into water. Same way, the quarks, the electron, proton, neutron are made of that element, that's Atman, that is the real consciousness. We are that, and that is how this body, this society, these nations, this culture, these galaxies, these planets, all are like tiny waves into this whole existence. Even this universe has a age, has a limit. It is a tiny wave in the existence, and the real self is in which the whole existence appears like the waves appears in the calm lake. So the way when we realize we are the whole existence, or the whole existence is like a wave in us, and that is called the Atma Tattva, that's called the Shiva. So when we identify ours, when we discover ourselves as the Atmana, the Atma, then the purpose of life vanishes. Then we are no more in doing what we are becoming, being more, and nothing remains to achieve in this world, and no fear of losing anything, because there is no way to save a wave. Wave appears to dissolve. This body has appeared in this world. This body got birth to die. There is no way to save this body, and there is no way to end the Atma, the real self. So the highest purpose of this life is to the self-realization, to know ourselves as the whole existence, as the cause of the whole existence. It is already written in sculptures. It is already realized by so many perfect human beings like Buddha, Mahavira, all the Krishna, Rama, and it is the highest level of consciousness on this earth. So to achieve the highest level of consciousness is the purpose of life, and to reach this goal of life, we have to go through the smaller goals of life, that is health independence, financial independence, and religion. Health, wealth, and relations. These are the 3 pillars of life, which are basically pillars of survival. Our 95 or 99% energy dissolved into this process of survival. It is observed by the process of survival. So the first goal should be how to become free from this process of survival, or how to bring out our process of life survival on autopilot mode. And this is the process for education. This is how the man has become human from monkey. Now human has enough shelter, enough food, enough health knowledge, and that's how he has enough time to explore the other aspects, the long-term survival. But if we really want to bring our life on autopilot mode, then we have to work on health, wealth, and relations. And these three important goals are very much important in our life. How to achieve health independence, and how to achieve wealth independence, and how to achieve relationship with independence. That's how in Indian context the mother goddess has three forms. The Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom. For anything, for any action we need knowledge of. The goddess of wealth, Lakshmi, the goddess of relations, power, Durga. Durga, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. These are three goddesses. These are the three potentials of this nature. These are the three powers of nature. And to achieve these three goals in our life, I think it is the first priority, the first purpose of life, and the last purpose of life to explore the highest potentiality of being human. Till now, every human being only has used its cerebral capacity only 5 to 10%, 90 or 95%. Our cerebral capacity, our mind capacities remain unused. Only the prophets and realized people like Buddha and Mahaprabhu who has used it 100%. So, to enable our body and mind capacity to its 100 level, it is the highest purpose. And this must be everyone's purpose of life. And this can be only be achieved really as an experience, as a true knowledge, by self-inquiry and self-questioning. An honest self-inquiry and self-questioning. Otherwise, whatever is written in scriptures and gurus and those who have achieved this goal earlier, they can help us. But the real query is must. Otherwise, it is like dogma or superstition. It is like not the real self-identification. Thank you.